What's up, everybody? It's a new episode of the Arts and Crafts Podcast. Man, it's a good day today. I am super stoked to be here. I woke up this morning. The first thing I did, I looked at my dog and I go, caw-caw, 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 caw-caw. And he was like, he did the head tilt. That's all he did. Head tilt and stared at me and then was like, are you okay? And he knows that when I start making bird noises at him, it's going to be a good day. It means I'm in a great mood and I'm ready to go. That's exactly what it means. And we've had a good day so far. I went for a little hike. Then I went on a run. Now I'm drinking this delicious beer from Town Brewery. I posted this picture today. It's with Filson and also with like One Tree Planted. We'll get into that in a minute. But man, such a good day. New setup here. It's just me. It's the solo podcast. It's just me. I'm just going to be talking nonsense to you guys. And hopefully you dig that. And if you don't know what to tell you. But this beer from Town, it's One Tree Planted. It's an IPA. It's beautiful. I posted a picture, which you can see right here. And I did that last night, just north of Oshawa on a little street with a bunch of trees on it, as you can see. Man, there's some crazy homes up there. I went up. I've been running a lot, as I've said a bunch of times. Everyone's sick of hearing about it, but I've been running so much, and all I do is run through neighborhoods and check out like different homes. And then I went for a drive up there to take that photo last night, and the homes up there are crazy. Like it's so wild. There's one all square and modern and like huge windows. Anyways, I'm nerding out. But this beer is so delicious. It's got like coconut, vanilla, berries, big citrus flavor to it. And it's almost like a meal, man. It's real. It's not heavy, but it's got some body to it, you know. If you have too many of them, you'll feel it. You'll definitely feel it. But Town, man, doing some cool stuff with this beer. Filson, I never heard of them before. They're a West Coast brand. They do like clothing, apparel. I got their website up right here, so I was just checking them out. But yeah, they do like men and women's apparel, luggage and bags. Yeah, they have a thing. It's basically just like a tote bag that you put on your shoulder, but it's labeled briefcases. Hey, they're not briefcases. They're bags, and that's cool, but they're not briefcases. You know? Don't call them briefcases. It's like a bag that you put over your shoulder. Briefcase, businessman from the 80s. That's it. No one uses briefcases anymore. Briefcases are like those things with a clicky. They make the clicky noise when you put the combo in. They were legit back in the day. Like that was the coolest. If you had a briefcase, when I was a kid, my dad had a briefcase and I was like, he's a man. Like he's an adult man. That's how I knew. But man, I haven't heard the word briefcase used in years. But man, these guys just look like a cool brand. The men's outerwear picture is a dude riding a motorcycle with like work gloves on and a bandana around his face. Very, very, 'tis the season for the bandana around his face, if you know what I mean. But man, they look like a cool brand. They got accessories, workwear, fishing, and hunting. Hunting? Yo, that's some of the manliest shit you could do. When I was a kid, I thought like it would be so cool to like go fishing, like kill, clean, and eat. When I say a kid, I mean like 21. I thought it'd be cool to like go and kill, clean, and eat a fish in one day. Like how cool would that be? And then I went fishing and I was like, this is super boring. This is the most boring thing I've ever done. You just sit here. And you go at like 6 a.m, so you're tired. The cool thing is you get to drink coffee, which is great. But you just sit there and you're tired. You're just like on a boat. You're like, it's so quiet. And people are like, it's peaceful. No, it's boring. It's so boring. One time I went fishing with my friend. We fished for a half hour and then we stopped and went to Old Flame Brewery. And that's the most fishing I've ever done. That's the most. We went fishing for half an hour. I threw my rod in the water like 4 times, got it tangled once, cut the rod, left the bait, or cut the line, left the bait, and I was like, let's go to Old Flame because it was right there. Everyone knows I was in Port Perry. You don't want to catch fish in Lake Scugog, man. You don't want to eat those. If you're eating fish from Lake Scugog, probably got corona. Let's be honest. You know? But man, speaking of coffee and the morning, my coffee stout. I made it. I'm not bragging. It is probably the best beer that I've ever made, my opinion. It's the most flavorful, the most like it's the beer that like is the most memorable for me. Maybe because I just made it. It's definitely a possibility, but also cuz it's got like so many layers to it. And I made a huge mistake while I was brewing it. Okay, so I said last time we talked, I said like, oh, I'm going to add coffee post fermentation and let it sit for a few days. And I did that. I did some research on it, and a lot of the things that I looked at had said like, you know, you want to add, if you're doing like a 5-gallon batch, I did some research and they're like, you want to add like anywhere from 3 to 4 ounces of like ground coffee. And I was like, all right, cool. And then they were like, but on the side, maybe have like anywhere from like take a pound or like anywhere from half a pound, so that's 8 ounces to 16 ounces, and then 3 to 4 ounces of that you're going to add to the beer directly in like a bag. So I was like, okay, I can do that. And they're like, the remaining stuff, so anywhere from 5 to 13 ounces, you're going to put in like a Tupperware with water, and that'll be like your cold brew, and then you'll separate the ground coffee from the water and then add that cold brew solution into the beer after to taste. And I was like, all right, I can do this. No problem. And then, so I was like, I'm going to go with that. That'll be my game plan, my plan of attack. So I knew exactly what I want to do. 3 ounces of the beer, about 8 or 9 to the cold brew solution. And the day that it happened, I work days and nights. So I just finished night shift, and I come home. I'm ready to do this thing. I'm hanging out. All's good. I take the beer out. I have 3 ounces in one Tupperware, and I have like 7 ounces in the other. I only had about 10 ounces of coffee. I thought it was more, but sometimes I'm bad at math. So I thought I had more than I did. So I have 3 ounces in one, 7 ounces in the other. I take the 7 ounces, I put it in a bag, and I add it to the beer. And I'm like, all right, cool, got that done. And then I look back to like the little notes that I made in my booklet. Yeah, I have a booklet. Whatever. So I look back at the notes and I was like, all right, now take the 7 ounces and put water on it. And then I was like, oh no, I just added 7 ounces to the beer. And it was the best mistake I ever made, because the coffee notes on the beer are perfect. Like, they're perfect. And I'm actually going to do the same thing with like dry hopping in the future. I'm going to start, if I like see a recipe that I kind of like and I kind of want to like build off of, I'm going to add so much hops dry hopping and just see how it turns out. Because why not? What's the worst going to happen? It could be a terrible beer and I pour it down the drain. Cool. Don't care. But it could also be filled with flavor and filled with deliciousness, like I think this one is. But the reason I say like I think this one is because I don't want to sit here and be like, this one's so goddamn flavorful, and everyone be like, sure it is. I think it is. That's all that matters to me. And I've had a couple people try it, and they thought it was really good too. The funniest part, though, is that the first night I tried it, I was working. I worked that day, and then I worked the next day. I got home, and I was like, I really want to try this beer. I think it's ready. It's in the keg. It's carbonating. All good. I'm like, let me try it out. So I fill up a glass. I have it. I'm like, this is amazing. I was so pumped about it. So excited. And then it's like probably 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night. And I was like, all right, I'll have another one. And then I'm going to shut her down for work in the morning. So I have another beer, hanging out. All's good. I think I went for a walk with Tucker. I get home. And then it's like, I go to sleep. I'm like, not my sleeping pattern. I sleep like an 80-year-old man. I'm in bed at like 9 o'clock most nights. And, I It's like 12:30 and I'm in bed like this. Like I'm so wired. I'm just in bed like I can't sleep. I have no idea what's going on. And then it hit me. There's caffeine in the beer. Like I added coffee to the beer and then I just drank 2 glasses of it at 9 o'clock when I usually go to bed. I was like, oh, you're such an idiot. Like it just totally didn't even cross my mind. Like I just totally forgot about it. So then I finally fell asleep like 1:30 in the morning. Had to get up at like 6. I was exhausted, but then I was still excited because I was so stoked about how the beer turned out. Oh man, so dumb. So anyways, the point is, if you're doing an all day drinking event, maybe just throw in a few coffee stouts, and then it'll kind of give you like it'll perk you up. You know, that's the way to go, I think. But also, it was just funny because I was like not expecting that at all. And all that happened was I stayed up super late. Oh, man, I need my sleep. I'm a grumpy Gus if I don't get my sleep. So you can probably tell I had a great sleep last night. I slept so good last night. I've been watching a lot of Silicon Valley with TJ Miller and Kumail. Man, there's so many good characters in that show, and I love that show, man. Silicon Valley and I'm Dying Up Here, which is a 1-season show on HBO that it got canceled, but it has so many great actors in it as well. Anyways, moving on. The running update. This is the last running update I'm gonna give because it's the end of the month. But I'm super pumped because today I surpassed 300 kilometers in 1 month. Yes. I was so pumped about it. I was so pumped. I went for, I think like 21. Let me check here. I think I went for 21 runs. 21 runs, 302.5 kilometers. And I'm really stoked about it. But the best part about all the runs is on Thursday, I'm running. And for those who don't know, if you run, you gotta plan your poop schedule. You didn't mishear me. I said your poop schedule. Because if you don't, you're gonna run into some problems when you're out there running. I'm telling you, might have been the closest call I've ever had in my entire life. So usually I'm pretty good. I wake up, have coffee, go for a walk with Tucker. It kind of brews up inside me. Then you let it go. Then you go for a run. This day, don't know what I was thinking, but I woke up and I was like, I'm just going to get this run out of the way real quick. But I'm a little tired. So let me have a coffee. So I have a coffee. I slam it. I go for a run. Worst idea I've ever had in my life. I think I went like 14K, but I went like 7 out and then 7 back. So, which obviously makes sense. My point was that like at halfway there, I was the furthest from my home. I don't like run around and like, anyways, that seems obvious, but just to clarify. So at like 6K, I feel a little, right in this area, I feel a little something brewing. And I'm like, it's nothing. It's all good. It's all good. That's about 6K. So I go another K. I'm now at 7, which is about halfway. And it's still brewing. It's brewing up big. And I'm nervous. I'm getting real nervous. And I'm like, all right, you're an adult man. You can just, hold it together like a briefcase. You can just hold it together until you get home. And then at like 9K, I was like, this is going to be real bad. I'm going to embarrass myself. I start thinking like, what shorts do I have on? And how much do these shorts mean to me? That's literally the thought that was running through my mind. Like, how much do these shorts mean to me? Do I mind throwing them out? And then I'm like, I also just got new shoes, but like, could I clean them off? Because if I could clean them off, not so much of a big deal. But if I can't, this is going to be a costly accident. you know? So I'm running. It's 10K. We're at 10K. We're at 11K. And it's getting real dicey. I'm like running and then like try not to think about it. I'm thinking about like anecdotes, stories. I'm thinking about number one thing I'm thinking about is one of my good friends like 2 months ago telling me how he shit his pants while running, and I made fun of him relentlessly because if I do it, I gotta tell him. And I know he's going to make fun of me, rightfully so. But I have to tell people if I do it. So that's mostly what I'm thinking about is how he's going to make fun of me because I just made fun of him. And it's so funny if I were to do that in my head, I'm thinking about that also. And I'm like, no. Don't think about that. Just think about getting home. So I'm in my head. I'm mapping out the best direction to go home. Sometimes I like to take scenic routes because I'm like, oh, this house looks nice. This place looks nice. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go check it out. No, don't care. I'll run anywhere to get home. I would run the quickest way to get home. That's where I was going. I was also like, no stores are open because of this pandemic. The old pandy getting all the stores closed. If stores were open, I would have busted in and been like, hey, need to use the washroom real quick. But I couldn't do that because nothing's open. So then, I'm getting parched here. So then, it's like 12K brewing up real hard. And I'm turning the corner to get onto my street. Now, I have a really long street, so I know the distance because I've been down this road a bunch of times. So I know, I know exactly how far I am. I'm about 2 kilometers from home. And I'm like, here's the thing that's horrible about this whole situation is that I want to run faster, but I can't because I gotta shit. And then I gotta shit. It's such a conundrum that I'm in, So I'm like, do I run faster and then potentially shit myself? Or do I run slower and potentially shit myself? You don't know what to do. So I just ran at that in-between state, Not too fast, not too slow. Dude, there was a red light. I almost was like, cars, let me go. I had to stand there. I'm like standing there. And if people watched me, they'd be like, is that guy okay? Like I'm clinching at the red light for a good 30 seconds. I'm like holding on to the pole. People are like, there's COVID on that. I'm like, I don't care at this point. Don't care. I'm like, I'm doing like I'm trying to like position myself to get to the best thing. Dude, so close. So then I run. I'm like running. I could see my house and I'm like, I'm getting there. And like, I'm so close to my house. And then, I'm like in my head, I was like, if anything happens out of the ordinary, like I drop my keys, like I fumble my keys in any way, I'm shitting my pants. Like this is a straight shot or it's like one shot only. I felt like Eminem at 8 Mile. Like this is one shot only. I had one opportunity. And if I didn't close the deal, it's over. It's Browntown all over. And so I run inside. I open the door. It's clean. I run inside. I don't even take my shoes off. I'm the neatest freak ever. I'm such a neat freak. Don't even take my shoes off. I go downstairs. I unleash. And I was like, that was the best feeling of all time. To know that you got there. Tucker just like sees me. He's like, hey. I'm like, not now. Get out of my way. And then I got it. All good. That was the biggest win of the whole month. I'll tell you. Forget the 300K. That was the biggest win of the entire month. Man, wild times. Yeah, it was rough, dude. I feel even worse now for my friend because I was like, I've been there, dude. I've been there. And you know what's funny is he's going to hate me. I won't say who it is, but he said to me, he's like, when he told me he did it, I was like, was it just a little bit? He's like, well, when I let out a little bit, I just let it all go. I was like, a little bit or a bunch. And I was like, oh man. But knowing how I felt, that release probably felt amazing for him. Probably felt great. Wow. Can't believe it. Also, I want to talk about this. Trinity Bellwoods. Not the brewery, but the actual park. It's been such a big topic of like heat for people. You know, people are real upset at other people just sitting in the park. There's like that picture where they showed all those people in the park, and people got so mad about it. Look, would I have gone to the park? No, probably not. I mean, no, I probably wouldn't have gone. But like, I can't understand people that like get this mad at random people. Here's the thing I don't get is people are like, you guys are out there while like nurses are in working. And that might be true. But how do you know the people there aren't nurses? How do you know it wasn't nurses at that park? I don't know. There could have been nurses there hanging out on their day off. No? I mean, maybe. Look, if you're at that park, obviously, you know, whatever. But now they've made circles on the park, like on the grass. I was like, what is this, elementary school? This is so ridiculous. It's so crazy. It looks so funny, too. They just like spray paint these like big circles. So wild. Which one's the peeing circle? Where do you pee? Which one do you do? Probably nowhere. You probably don't want to pee in a public park. Or, you know. But man, crazy times. Crazy times. People get so mad just because people are there like, you know, socializing. And then the funniest thing I think about the whole thing, this happened like a week ago, but Beck Taxi they tweeted, I'm going to read it. It says, please don't contact us for a ride home if you've spent the day at Trinity Bellwoods Park ignoring physical distance rules. Hey, Beck Taxi, no one's calling you. No one's calling you. I didn't even know that Beck Taxi was still a thing. Who's calling Beck Taxi? Who takes taxis anymore? Hey, companies, we're not in this together. People, I love it. As soon as this all happened, my inbox was flooded with companies who seemingly hated me before this, being like, hey, you need help? We got your back. This is just another attempt to be like the company that's on like the right side of an issue. You know what I mean? Dude, Beck Taxi. If someone told me that COVID-19 started in the back seat of a Beck Taxi, I'd believe them. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Dude, no one's taken Beck Taxi. While I agree with this sentiment, you know, like I agree. People, you know, you probably shouldn't have been there ignoring physical distancing rules. You probably shouldn't have. But hey, no one's calling you, Beck Taxi. No one is. Who's calling them? Who's hailing down taxis in 2020 when Uber exists? Dude, what? Hey, Beck Taxi. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. It's just so crazy to me that like, and people are buying it. People are like, good for you for standing up. No, what? No. If Uber was like, hey, guys, what the fuck is your problem? I'd be like, all right, that's fair. But Beck Taxi? It's because I use Uber, and I feel like 95% of the population also uses Uber. But geez, man. Jeez. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Beck Taxi, Trinity Bellwoods. Dude, I mentioned that I was watching Silicon Valley, and I'm dying up here. I just finished The Last Dance, and this is what I think. And I used to hate this, but I actually have changed my mind on it a lot. I used to hate when you would like see a show and then actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I should say once when Netflix came out and like blew up, I was like, this is great because you can watch all the episodes at once. You can binge them. You can watch them anytime you want. But now I do see the value in having one show a week and like not being able to binge. Here's my thought. So think about The Last Dance. It was cool for like, I don't know, a whole like, month and a bit because every week 2 episodes came out. Whereas you think about like Tiger King, it was cool for like 2 weeks and they had like all these episodes because they all came out at once. Everyone binged it so quick and then it was just over, Also, I think that when you have a show that comes out like once a week, you have time to like process what just happened and then like think about it, consider it, talk to your friends about it, get hype for the next episode. Like here's the thing with I watched Game of Thrones way after everyone else did, but then I watched the last season. I think it was season 7 was the last one. I watched that with everybody because I had caught up before that. But I caught up in such a quick time that I feel like I didn't get to process all of the like big moments. Like people were like, "Oh, what about the red wedding?" And I remember when the red wedding happened, I was like, "Oh, crazy." Next episode. And then there was something new and then I just forgot about it. But if I was watching it in real time, I'd be like, "Oh my God, that's the most insane thing." And then I'd be like talking to my friends about it all week long. And we'd just be, and then I'd be like so stoked for the next week. But that didn't happen because I was literally sitting on my couch. I probably had like fucking Dorito dust on my chest. I was just like half passed out, I'd be like, "Oh, wow, people died. Okay, next episode." And I just click next. And that was it. But that's my argument. Because I think that yeah, if you could just have more time to like process it and talk shit about it with your friends, which is it's the best thing. It's the best thing. It's the best thing. Because then you just, you can nerd out on it. I did the same thing with Breaking Bad. And I was like, both, for the record, I think Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad are some of the best shows of all time. But I wish I appreciated them more. And I think I would have done that if I could have watched them like more spaced out, Okay, I just saw this article. And it's for Durham region. So if you don't live in Durham region, I feel like it still could be a benefit to you. But Durham region folks, it said bear spotted in Oshawa and Whitby on Sunday. Do you know what to do if you see one? And this is from like durhamregion.com. It says, do you know what to do if you spot a black bear? And then it basically says, don't call us. Not kidding. It goes, not every bear sighting is an emergency situation. You should call 911 if a bear poses an immediate threat or exhibits threatening or aggressive behavior. Hey, Durham region, a bear in my vicinity is always an immediate threat. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's so crazy to me. They go, examples include, they give examples. It gets crazier. They go, examples include entering a schoolyard when school is in session, trying to enter a home. Okay, wait, let's back it up. Entering a schoolyard when school is in session. All I thought about was a family of bears, and the mama bear is like on her, she's like, not yet, kids. It's 3:25. We got another 5 minutes till school's out. And you can have at that playground over there. Like, she's just waiting. Dude, what? What does that even mean? If I see a bear in a schoolyard at any time, I'm calling the cops. I'm calling 911, being like, hey, there's a bear here. If I see a bear in a schoolyard at any time, I'm calling the cops. I'm calling 911. Doesn't matter. Because it's a bear in a suburb. And that's not where bears belong. I'm calling 911. And then they're like trying to enter a home, wandering into a public gathering. Bear's like, beer festival. That sounds like it'd be fun. And they just come over and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't come here. Or killing pets or livestock and lingering at the site. Okay. Cool. Let's say that's real. They go, it's not an emergency. This is even better. They go, it's not an emergency if a bear moves through a backyard or field but does not linger. Cool. Okay, that's fair. If I see a bear in a field and it just moving along, I'd be like, all right, see you later, bear. But they go, is in a tree, roams around checking out garbage cans, pulls down a bird feeder, or knocks over a barbecue. This is written in the article. All I thought about was like a bear outside on your back deck. Like, I didn't knock it over yet. You can't call 911. Dude, also, in this article, it's titled, "Do you know what to do if you see one?" A bear. Nowhere in this article do they say what to do if you see a bear. They don't say, suddenly find God, suddenly become religious, run away, become a sprinter or a marathon runner. They don't say anything. They don't say like, stand up, act tall, turn your back on it, run, push your friend forward as you step back. They don't say any of that stuff. All they say is, don't call us. Don't call us. That's it. Man. What a wasted article. They wrote this article to be like, hey, we saw a bear. People called us. Please don't do that in the future. Durham Region News. Durham Region. Man, bears are going to see this and be like, this is some good press. They're going to be like, we can basically go into cities now. We know the rules. Let's just go in there, get comfy, Dude, if I see a bear anywhere, I'm for sure calling 911. Anywhere. Imagine you saw a bear and you're like, wait. We have to wait till it breaks the rules. Yo, no. Like, if you do that, irresponsible. Man, they're bears. A bear was spotted near Wilson Road and Coldstream Drive. That's 2 minutes from my home. Did not know that until right now. That's literally 2 minutes from my home. Oh my God. I run by there all the time. That's where it is? That's horrifying. If I ever saw a bear on a run, oh my God. It's just going to be hilarious. And if in like a week, you're like, so, Nick Taylor, man, 30, looks 36, dies of vicious bear attack after making fun of bears relentlessly on mediocre podcast 1 week prior. That would be the greatest headline. And then in the article, they tell you nothing about how I died, because that's what this article is doing. Do you know what to do if you see one? And then they don't say a thing about it. You get it. This article's terrible. Brutal. Dude, I'll tell you what to do if you see a bear. If I saw a bear, what would I do? Let's think about this. What would you do if you saw a bear? If I saw a bear, what would I do? If I saw a bear, let's say I was the person to see one as I was running. That's probably the most likely scenario. I see a bear when I'm running. If the bear's in front of me, it's looking at me, I do this. I go, hey bear, look, I know you're upset and I know you've been mistreated, but dude, I love Disney movies, and I think that you're portrayed really well in them. And I have no ill will. And then he just attacks me and he kills me. That's what happens. I think I would probably just try to run away, honestly. People that are like, stand up, make yourself really tall. Hey, man. That's something for really tall people. That's a tactic for really tall people. And I'm not that. Dude, I know a guy that's so tall, he has to duck to get through doors. They didn't make homes big enough for him. He's like 7 feet. He literally has to duck. He like comes in, he like turns his head, He's like, just doorway. Just a regular doorway. Like he came into my home one time. He's like, hey man, what's up? And then I was like, hey, welcome, I was like, did anyone else have, like, are my doors too small? Did anyone else have to duck? Everyone was like, no, man, he's just really tall. He makes really tall people look like short people. It's wild. Yeah, he's a really tall guy. That's it. I mean, I'm wrapping this up. You guys can probably tell. You're probably like, all right, wrap this shit up. You got nothing else to talk about. But I'm excited about this beer to wrap up. This Filson beer. I guess this Town Filson collab. I also got another order from All or Nothing in this week. And they have, I feel like I was kind of misled. I wasn't misled because I looked on their website and it actually does say it. But most of the beers that I got are these like little baby cans. They're like these like, if you think about like what like a Coors like cold shot, like those cans, it's basically like the size of those. And so I got like 10 of those. But I looked on their website and it says, I just wasn't looking at it. So, but I'm excited to try it. I got one that's a pumpkin ale. I was like, I thought this was only during, Halloween, but I guess not. So I'm going to try it out. I got those. I got a bunch from Town also with this One Tree Planted. And, the other one that I got from Town was Brain Space, which is a double IPA, and that is delicious. So good. So, that's it for me. Check back next week. We got another cool guest coming up, and I'm really excited about it. So I'll see you then.